Alright, I've been seeing a lot of people saying that Belal Muhammad is just gonna ragdoll JDM this Saturday, and honestly, I think that's totally possible. Like, I'm not saying it's a lock, but if we're being real about their styles, Belal has that exact kind of game that can drown guys like Jack. We're talking relentless forward pressure, non-stop cardio, and grappling heavy approach that doesn't give you a second to breathe. And when someone like Belal turns up that pace, especially over the 5 rounds, it can make elite strikers look average. I mean, just look what he did to like Wonder Boy and Vicente Luque. He made them look uncomfortable the entire time. Now, don't get me wrong, Jack Della Maddalena is a sniper, no doubt about it. The dude has some of the cleanest boxing in the division. Sharp head movement, great counters, and he doesn't waste a lot of energy. But that calm, composed style can be a double-edged sword when you're getting smothered. If Belal is able to close that distance early and avoid those clean shots in the opening couple of rounds, I could see JDM getting stuck against the cage, defending takedowns, and just slowly getting worn out. It's one thing to be technical on the feet, it's another to maintain that composure when a guy's in your face with that chain wrestling and non-stop clinch pressure, you know? Another factor here is experience and fight IQ. Belal's been in there with a lot of killers, and he's been in 5-round fights a lot of times. He knows how to manage his gas tank, when to mix it up, when to shoot, and how to keep guys from getting comfortable. This would be JDM's first real test at this level, especially against someone who's not trying to trade, but instead trying to shut down your game entirely. That's a big jump. And yeah, JDM has looked great so far, but most of his fights have been 3-rounders against guys who gave him space. Belal's not going to give you that luxury. That's the difference. So yeah, I get why people are saying that Belal might ragdoll him. It's not about being flashy or putting on a highlight reel knockout. It's about control, pace, and wearing you down. That's what Belal does best. And if JDM can create space, or if he can start slowing down even a little bit, I could absolutely see this turning into one of those classic Belal performances where he just drowns you in volume and grinds you out. So I've been seeing people saying that Belal's just gonna straight up ragdoll JDM this weekend, and I mean, yeah, I get where this is coming from. I mean, a lot of it's based on that Bassett Hafez fight where Jack kind of got exposed a bit in the wrestling department since Hafez was able to land 3 takedowns, control him at time, and honestly made this fight way more competitive than it should have been. And yeah, Jack was throwing up guillotines here and there, but those weren't the kind of like, let me pull guard and try this kind of guillotine. They were panic responses to getting taken down. Now, to be fair, there was some chaos leading into that fight. Jack was originally supposed to fight Sean Brady, but Brady pulled out. Then this other guy stepped in, and then he got pulled out at the last minute. So Jack had already made weight once for that fight. That never happened. And then had to turn around the next week to cut weight again, later to face a different opponent in Hafez. That kind of back-to-back weight cut can absolutely mess up your body and drain your performance. So yeah, maybe he didn't look great, but there was a legit reason for that in my opinion. And even with that chaos, Jack still found a way to win. He stayed composed, got out of bad spots, and landed the better shots overall. It was a split decision, sure, but he toughed it out. And don't forget, in that Gilbert Burns fight, dude broke his arm early and still came back to finish one of the most dangerous grapplers in the game. Like, how many guys are doing that? That's not just grit, that's high-level composure under pressure. So yeah, Belal could definitely pose problems, especially early with the pressure and takedown attempts, but it's not like Jack hasn't been through this before. He's shown that he could survive tough spots, make adjustments, and start turning the tide. Now, if Belal slows down or he can't hold him down, JDM's got that kind of striking that can flip the momentum really quick, because this fight is not as one-sided as some people are making it seem. But here's the thing, and this is where I start flipping the script, because as much as Belal is a nightmare matchup on paper, this ain't some helpless striker we're talking about. Jack Della Maddalena is different. There's a very real clear path to victory here, and it starts with how sharp and efficient Jack is on the feet. We're talking about one of the cleanest boxers in the division. His ability to stay calm, under fire, slip the shots, and rip to the body. And if Belal can't safely shoot without eating damage, he's gonna be in trouble real quick. Because let's be real, Belal's whole game is built around breaking guys. He overwhelms you with pressure, makes it in wrestling, and slowly drowns you round by round. But I'll be honest, I don't think JDM is gonna break. He's not that type of fighter. We've seen him deal with adversity before. He stayed composed against Hafez, even though he had to cut weight twice. And don't get me wrong, that Burns fight, he fought through with a broken arm and still got the finish. That's a dude who doesn't fold. Belal might try to break him, but I don't think Jack is built to be broken. And that's where I think Jack can still find success. Once he weathers the early pressure, Belal usually needs to build momentum. He thrives when guys start hesitating, backing up, or throwing less volume. But Jack doesn't really fight like that. He stays calm, he's calculated, and when he gets a read on you, that's when he starts ripping those slick combos, especially to the body. Belal's striking has improved, no doubt about it, but it's still basic. He's not a threat to win a clean kickboxing match with JDM, and if Jack can keep that fight in the center, chew up the body early, and force Belal into sloppy entries, that's where things start shifting, because Belal's not great when he's on the back foot. He doesn't do well when he can't set the pace. Jack can disturb that rhythm with the jab, feint, and those signature body hooks that take the gas out of you real fast. Because truth be told, it's all about survival early. If Jack can make it out round one without getting held down or overwhelmed, the openings are going to be there. And once he starts finding that rhythm, it's a whole different fight. And once Jack starts getting comfortable, that's when he becomes dangerous. He's not one of those volume guys who throws just to throw. Every shot has intent. That left hook to the body, the way he sets it up to the rear uppercut, it's clean, efficient, and it adds up. And that's the scary thing. Jack doesn't need a ton of space to work with. He can land in the pocket, he can pressure quietly, and he stays defensively responsive while doing it. And if Belal starts slowing down or getting desperate with his takedown entries, Jack's the kind of guy who'll make him pay. One-time knee or uppercut up the middle changes everything. And we've seen Belal get touched up in the past when fighters don't let him dictate the pace. That's Jack's window. Take Belal out of his rhythm and start forcing mistakes. Also, JDM's one of the best at picking shots and reads in mid-fights. He doesn't come out wild in the first, but once he sees your pattern, he starts getting sharper as the round goes. That's why this matchup gets more interesting the longer it goes. If Belal can't dominate those early rounds, I wouldn't be surprised if round 3 or 4 and even 5 starts tilting towards Jack. Now here's where things really start leaning to Jack's favor, because we talked about Belal Muhammad striking. Yeah, it's improved over the years, no doubt about it. He's more disciplined now, his jab is more sharper, and he's gotten better managing distance. But even with all that growth, the same core problems are still there, and fighters like Jack Della Maddalena is the exact kind of guy who can expose this. For starters, Belal still enters range on pretty straight lines. He doesn't have a ton of lateral movement. He doesn't do a great job in distinguishing his level changes or mixing up his rhythm. That was crystal clear in the Jeff Neal fight, where Neal kept tagging him clean, especially in with that left hand. Belal's pressure heavy style works great when he's the one that's setting up the tone, but when he's walking forward without feints, without real head movement, and tries to bully his way into the clinch, that's where he's wide open, and Jack lives for that. Jack's a sniper, dude. He doesn't need to throw volume. He just needs one read, one window, and he'll punish you. If Belal comes in flat-footed or tries to force a sloppy takedown, Jack's gonna start slicing him up. We've seen it before. Those shots, those uppercuts in the pocket, those left hooks to the body, they land clean when a fighter isn't defensively sound. And with Belal kind of approach, where he's trying to wear you down over time, every clean shot from JDM is gonna matter more and more. Another thing is that Belal barely kicks besides the body kick that he used on Gilbert Burns. His striking is almost entirely boxing based, and that is a huge advantage for Jack. Why? Because it means that Jack can plant his feet, sit down on his shots, and not worry about calf kicks or high kicks disturbing his stance. He can focus purely on timings Belal's hands, and that's exactly where the kind of setup he thrives in. When you're not giving him layers to deal with, where it's just straight pressure and hands, he's gonna start discreting you with clean counters and body work. And let's be honest, Belal doesn't have power. He's not the kind of guy who's gonna knock you out or even make you respect his hands. He wins with pace, with cardio and control, not with clean striking exchanges, because Jack does bring real power. He does land clean, and if Belal can't hurt him or at least make him hesitate, he's gonna have a hell of a time keeping Jack from walking him down, stuffing takedowns, and digging to the ribs. That's why this matchup is so dangerous for Belal. The thing he usually gets away with is straight line pressure, lowers boxing, and grinding pace. They don't work as well against a guy like Jack. Jack's got the composure to not panic under pressure, the footwork to the center, and the timing to punish any lazy or desperate shot attempts. And when Belal starts realizing that his usual approach isn't working, when he starts second guessing those entries, that's when Jack can turn it up. So yeah, the openings is there. The same way the same holes we saw against Jeff Neal, Leon Edwards, and even Sean Brady are still a part of Belal's game. But the difference this time, he's in there with someone who can exploit those openings with real precision and real fight-ending damage. If Jack keeps it standing, reads the pressure, and starts touching the body, this can snowball quickly. But Jack's not just looking for a point to win. He looks to punish you, and this might be the perfect fight to do it. Now, don't get me wrong, I still think Belal Muhammad has a real shot at winning this fight. I'm not out here acting like JDM is gonna walk through him, but at the same time, I'm not writing Jack off like a lot of people are. The way some folks are talking about him, it seems like he doesn't even belong in there with Belal, and honestly, that's laughable to me. This is a close fight, like razor close. If you ask me, it can go either way depending on who controls the pace early. But you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna go with JDM, and here's why. Belal's not a finisher. He's not a guy that's gonna start you or put you out cold. That means Jack's got 5 rounds to find his rhythm, adjust to the grind, and start tagging him. I think he weathers the early pressure, keeps his composure, and starts landing clean as the fight goes on. And listen, man, it might go to a decision, might even be a late finish. That is if Belal starts to slow down. But either way, I think JDM makes a statement.